We felt that we were a bank that did not have any losses of any size. Over the course of decades, we lose substantially less than banks generally, and therefore there was no reason for us to take TARP. Other banks had absolute holes in their capital positions, and they needed TARP. We did not need TARP.
Did the government try to push you to take it anyway?
They suggested we should, and when we said no, several people called and asked if in fact we could be convinced otherwise, and we convinced them that we definitely did not need TARP.
So there did need to be there was nudging either way, wasn't there?
Well, there was a conversation that clearly entailed this is what is happening across the nation. Banks are taking TARP, and they don't need to have it. They should just take it because it's available to be had. And we decided we did not want it.
Do you think the industry is in better or worse shape than 5 years ago regarding those too big to fail institutions?
Oh, I think the industry is in a very different place today than it was 5 years ago, basically because the industry is transitioning through a variety of changes that are very, very meaningful to how we do business. The deleveraging of banking causes a deleveraging of the U.S. economy, and banks are being delevered, and that is from the biggest banks to the smallest banks. So this is very, very meaningful to us all.
Why do you think the smaller regional banks like yours haven't run into the same problems that have plagued the big guys?
I think our business models are very different. Many of the bigger banks were making substantial amounts of money taking a different risk than the small banks. So we've stuck to our knitting. We, in fact, have a bank that makes its money by lending on New York City real estate primarily, and we lend on real estate that we've understood for decades. So in 40-odd years, we've taken exceptionally small amounts of loss through multiple cycles. So the reality is big banks eat capital during cycle turns. In our entire 40-odd year period, we've never lost capital as a result of any losses on our principal assets. So our loans do not eat into capital even during cycle turns. We cover any losses that we have through earnings, operating earnings.